Lolly Lolly says, please, what's the difference? I'm adding that what's for you, Lolly Lolly. You're welcome. What's the difference between emergency and urgency? Okay, emergency and urgency. The simplest way to maybe explain this one is to talk about the usage of these two. But before we talk about the usage, just a basic difference in definition. An emergency, usually used as a noun, as a thing, as an event, is a situation in which something is on the line and something serious could be lost. Something important could be lost. It could be a loss of life or some other thing. We can describe other situations as emergencies. If something doesn't happen right now, another bad thing will be the result. Bad things will happen if this doesn't happen. Bad things will happen if this thing doesn't get done. Now, we often think of hospital situations when we have emergencies. That is one type of emergency. An emergency is when someone is injured, someone is hurt, someone gets sick, someone is having a heart attack. If they don't go to the hospital, they might lose all their blood and die, or have a heart attack and die, right? So that's generally how we use it. However, it is used in lots of other situations. Please hurry up. It's really an emergency. We use that when we want to give people a sense of, hey, I need you to do this now. This is not something that you can just do later, okay? We use urgency more as the approach, the mindset. We often say to have a sense of urgency. Now, urgency is also a noun, but there are two different types of nouns. Emergency is a thing, an event, usually, as it's used. So in that sense, it's an uncountable noun. An uncountable noun is one you can't count. Can you count an emergency? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yes, you can have 4 emergencies. I had 4 emergencies. Okay. Can we count urgency? 1 urgency, 2 urgency? No, it's an uncountable noun. So they're two different kinds of things. Now, with urgency, we're talking about a way of doing things. We're talking about a mindset, an approach, right? More of an idea. It's more abstract. So we say, can you please have a sense of urgency? Or I need you to have a sense of urgency. You're going a little slowly on this. I need you to have a sense of urgency. Or we could say, this is kind of an urgent situation. I need you guys to have a sense of urgency. Sense of urgency is the common pair, the common two words we put together, sense and urgency. Urgent is probably more common than the noun form. Urgent is the adjective form. So we might say this is an urgent situation. We have an urgent issue to deal with, okay? Now, you might say, what's the difference between an urgent situation and an emergency? The difference is basically the possible outcomes. Often when we have an urgent situation, we need to do something in a quick way. We need to kind of rush. We need to kind of hurry. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if it doesn't happen, or if we don't do it right now, something horrible will happen. Now, maybe something bad happens, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It can be used for all sorts of situations, both in which if you don't do it, I guess it's okay, but I'd really like you to hurry, and if you don't do it, something bad is going to happen. Whereas with an emergency, the consequence, if it doesn't happen, if we don't take care of it immediately, is bad, okay? Can we say emergent? Is that a word? Okay, well, that's a completely different thing, so we won't even talk about that, okay? These are the most common usages. There are other ways to use these. The most common here, urgency, the general attitude, uncountable, urgent, countable, and, urgent, adjective, and then emergency, countable, okay? I would say that urgent, the adjective, is more common than urgency, the uncountable noun. So hopefully, lolly lolly, that answers your question. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and also check out my courses in the links in the description.